Welcome to this session about bidirectional support for SAP's cloud customers. My name is Wilhelm Jütte. I'm Chief Product Owner for Support in SAP CSI. And we have Ian Mooney from Product Support in the call with me. And the next half hour we'll take talking about our bidirectional support efforts at SAP, give you some examples, show some demo and outlook. So let's start right away. First, this disclaimer, but now into the real stuff. Right, cloud business for our support and for our cloud customers is a specific topic, because when we look into the industry and we see what is currently most relevant and look at the trends, and this is what we did, we see basically four large movements. The first one is that customers expect that they get a guided experience and support. Guided means for customers in cloud products, whenever I have any problem with a software, might it be SAP, and I need help, then ideally I'm guided where I get support. The background here is that people and customers rightfully expect that the effort is minimal to solve problems. That's also the KPI that it's most critical in the industry, because we all want to solve our software issues fast. Accordingly, guidance is a key principle. You should not be able to look for lists of categorization. You should get recommendations wherever there are some. And you should, of course, be guided inside your SAP solution where you get support and how to get support in the best possible way. The number two topic is personalization. We will come to this a little later, but basically it's about that support needs to be tailored to the customer's needs. And that's something we learn too, and we implement as well, because support in decades ago was easy. You simply put documents there, then you were searching and finding something. Maybe these days we speak much more about to tailor support to what the customer really needs, to what software he has, what software he does not have would be excluded, and ideally also going by the customer's role or persona. The number three thing is real-time access to support experts. So I think you all know that SAP introduced the expert chat some while ago, and it works pretty well, and it allows exactly that our customers can directly talk to our support engineers. There's nothing in between, and this works well. This kind of live support offerings are more or less standard. Yeah, they are expected and they need to be there. We see this also in the KPIs. Expert chat session usually leads to a 2 to 3 times faster resolution of some product issues than if you do that with a standard ticket, and the customer satisfaction rates are significantly higher when we compare tickets to expert chat sessions. The fourth trend, and should not be forgotten, is proactive and predictive support. And that means that from a reactive support model, and you see this round model on top here, and we come to this in a second, we are more and more moving to a proactive support model. From an evolutionary point of view, this means a classical reactive support model still in place for many companies and many use cases, and of course still works, is that a customer would create a ticket whenever he observes a problem and cannot solve it himself. The ticket would then be processed. And yeah, this is a standard way of solving issues at software companies, without any doubt. But that's not the thing that works really well today anymore. The next step we then did, and this is also quite some time back, where we introduced numerous self-service options. So you can, if you have a software issue today, you can find search, you can find recommendations, you can find knowledge bases, most of them public, depending on the product, where you can find solutions by yourself. This does not mean at all that companies have to do everything to get solutions, and SAP would simply wait until they do. It simply means that the effort from problem to solution can be shortened. And behind that always there's a support organization that helps if that does not work. To get even more proactive means or equals to our efforts around machine learning and AI to get solutions proposed, like in the ISM, where tickets being created and then based on confidence intervals and millions of tickets we evaluated beforehand, we can give you the best possible solution. During the creation process, activities like that, including our hot and trending efforts, go in exactly that direction to get proactive. But kind of the Champions League of all that is predictive and preventative, meaning that we identify issues even before most of the customers would experience them and solve them ideally before that. That's typical cloud. That's something SAP is investing a lot to go in this direction, and we will come to this in a few minutes. So that's ideally the process. This is also the route we are following. And what you see on the right is that this preventative and predictive does not work without what we said before, customer specific, meaning personalized, and product specific experience. Preventive and predictive always means that we need to know your installation, your solution very well, ideally also the people behind that, so that we can address the solutions, address the topics exactly to the right people. Now, let's have a look what built-in support plays in this entire scenario, what role it plays. Built-in support, you might know already, you might have even seen it or used it. It's our support offering inside the product. So when you open an S4 HANA Cloud Edition today, you have this headset icon on top and you can always get support. There's several features already available in built-in support today. Yeah, we listed it here, reaching from contextual support recommendations in the end. There's search, you can create a ticket, you can have an expert chat with a support expert right out of built-in support without leaving it. Yeah, so there's no need to go to a portal, there's no need to step out your product. You can get support within the product and full-blown support. So it's not just about searching a knowledge base, it's really including all our real-time support channels. And why that is important when we look at preventative and predictive and especially bi-directional support we want to talk today is that it has 4 key benefits. The first thing is that it's right in the product, meaning if you work in a product today and you have any kind of support request, you don't have to go to a portal, you can use it right there. This might sound for a key user not as a big effort because you might know the portal, but if we expand to end users or network users in our network solutions like Ariba, then it becomes different because there an end user might not know about the portal, or from a support contract or from a process perspective, he has this opportunity. Therefore, having support inside the product is kind of an industry standard, especially in the cloud. The second huge benefit and differentiator when we look at portals on the other side is the context. The context from the application can only be taken from the application itself and ideally from where you work, meaning with built-in support, we can provide you with support for that specific product easily. And even, and we'll see this a little later in this presentation, also for the specific page, the specific area in your product, because we know the context, we know what is happening. We know also what a cloud product, if a cloud product might be affected by an outage or degradation. And this means that support can be even more tailored. Number 3, as said, is the user role. Built-in support can, because we sit more or less in the application, differentiate between today an end user and let's say an S user. So a key user has an S user account or can already today log in and gets different offerings than an end user. We want to bring that forward. We want to develop that capability and in the future cover other user types too. And this goes hand in hand with the last benefit, that is in the end with built-in support, you have support that looks and feels the same in all products of SAP. This corresponds to our strategy to roll out built-in support in the coming years to literally all cloud offerings so that the support experience is truly harmonized. Talking about that rollout, where are we today with Billion Support? We now updated that list because we add products more or less on a monthly basis. You see on the left-hand side which products already have Billion Support built in. This is the list of products where we are currently in ramp up, so that will happen soon for those products. And then there's a long list of those products we are currently in the ramp, like in the onboarding phase, as we call this internally. So bringing Billion Support into a product works step by step. There's a process behind, and of course it's always tailored to the experience you need. Therefore, this takes time, but the roadmap is quite full, and this is what you will experience in the future. Now, let's have a look at this topic of bidirectional support and how this goes together with Billion Support. As we said before, bidirectional support would mean that we move from kind of a reactive model to a strongly proactive and predictive model. So what we see here is, so to say, what we do today or what we did in the past. The trigger is a product issue, right? The product issue would then result in, that was observed on customer side, in the look for support. You might search for solutions, but in the end, you would like to reach out to support if that cannot be solved. You would get the offering of real-time support. That's good, yeah. And you could use proactive self-service, also good, because then you could find your solutions easy, fast, and with a minimum of effort. Does this work in Billion Support today? The answer is yes. We have the expert chat available today, and we'll see this in the demo later on, and you might even have done that. So if you want to talk to SAP support today, you can do this out of the product with any further ado. You can describe your problem, you choose the channel of expert chat, and you can do that to discuss product-related issues. We also have the intelligent recommenders there, like the ISM, so that is quite nice. However, if we look at the focus of bidirectional, yeah, the idea to go more preventative, then the predictive recommendations and issue notifications would, so to say, the trigger, meaning we identify a problem early, and then we would not simply wait until everybody comes by, but we will get proactively and identify those customers that might be affected, where your system, your solution might be affected, and try to identify very precisely and inform if needed. If not needed and the problem can be solved proactively, even better. But that means it's a shift of triggers for support and also a shift on how we interact with customers in Billion Support. Meaning, you see the preventative support on the right-hand side and the proactive enablement. Yeah? So we want to let you know what is relevant for you even in advance, so that you do not, experience a problem in firsthand. And how to do that in Billion Support, we will combine some technologies. Of course, we will take what we have already with the ISM, for example, to give you the best possible solutions to enrich these algorithms by further content, talking, for example, about hot and trending content and match this what is most relevant for you, but also introduce new technologies. We will talk in this session about what we call real-time or live recommendations. That's one thing. The other thing is that we, currently at this time, renewing our search experience. Yeah, we will significantly enhance it so that you can find solutions easier. And the third thing is just one example, because there's more what we call predictive support technology. There's something we call outbreak detection. It's a typical cloud scenario. When a problem occurs, it occurs for many customers. And the idea behind is to use machine learning and very advanced algorithms to identify the problem at the earliest point in time, to identify affected customers, and to let you either know or, as said, solve as fast as possible, and might inform you about the outcome or even solve it before you encounter it. These are a few examples we will bring into Billion Support to, in the end, reduce the effort. That's the main target, and also what we see from customer side, what is wanted, reduce effort to a minimum, ideally don't bother me at all. And with that, also increase the value. because we will see when we, for example, talk about release changes and there's issues during a release change, that the created value out of these new features or changed features cannot be leveraged if there's not the right information there on time for you. Good. Let's now have a look at this second block here, real-time live recommendations, because that's to happen very soon. We are working on that, and we plan to release the first versions of that pretty soon, most likely in the first half of this year. What is it? The live recommendations, as said, is a combination of algorithms and the power of the support teams with the idea to reach out to you. Do not forget, we talk about bi-directional support, reach out to you as customer at the earliest point in time. So what you see on the right-hand side is mainly three elements that make this possible. And the first is the support team. The support team itself, and Ian, you will talk about that too, are the people who know exactly what customers need because they have all the interactions on a daily basis. So this team knows for their product area exactly what is most critical. Secondly, we have AI algorithms. These algorithms can calculate what are the most critical, what are the most trending knowledge objects, and can provide the support team with that. With kind of a curation, the support team can now decide what is the most critical content for our customers. And last but not least, we introduced a master data model that allows the support teams to put that into the context of exactly that part of the product they are supporting. Meaning we have more or less thousands of kind of product functions identified in the product where support content can be put and published. And where it will be published is exactly billing support. Meaning if I'm a customer and the support decides that something is critical and relevant for me, it can now be published with these live recommendations in billing support exactly where it happens. So if that happens in a certain area of S4, then it will only show there. But it happens somewhere else, let's assume another product, where it's about logistics, then the logistics KBA will show up. So the customer or the role or the persona, the person in front of the screen will see exactly what is relevant for her or him in the application itself in billing support. So as said, this is supposed to be real time. So we do not talk about something that will come in a month's publishing or a week or whatever. But if the support organization decides that this morning something is critical happening and they want to provide you with a remedy or with a workaround or with a solution, KBA, then they are able to activate this, publish it, and it will be visible right away for all the hundreds or thousands of customers using that product function. This all comes without any notification to you, so you would not be bothered by emails or something like that. At this step, we talk about publishing and billing support. So whenever you need it, whenever you are interested in what is going on or you encounter an issue, then billing support could be the first step for you to look into, like a mobile application about news. And then you have a look, is there anything new happening? Is there anything relevant for you? And to illustrate how this would look like, I'm really happy that Ian, you are on the call, because Ian is from Cloud ALM. And for this product, I think you had a few thoughts. What could be published via billing support?
Yeah, thanks, Willem, for the introduction. So I'm working for Cloud ALM, and we have built-in support available for our product. So I'm not only a support engineer, I'm also a product area lead for the product. And as part of working on the product, we continuously review customer incidents and look for feedback and comments for exactly this topic of live recommendations of how we can best support the customers and enhance their support experience. So I'm also take part in the monthly ALM community call, and before this topic has been rolled out, we kind of were using that platform, which maybe a lot of customers will maybe recognize me from that, but we were using that platform to kind of pass some information which was on a monthly basis. But, you know, for the built-in support and the live recommendations, we feel that this is the perfect opportunity to give that much better experience and provide the content to the customers. So what I'm going to do in the next couple of slides is we've just prepared some examples of how we envision what the support will look like in specifically for Cloud ALM, and my topic area is the operations area, so for the monitoring use cases. So the first kind of example that we have here is it's really kind of like for a hot topic. So if there's a known issue, and as Willem said, if an issue affects a customer, the fact that we're on cloud, it's more often than not going to affect a lot more than one customer. So the idea behind this is that when we discover this known issue, we can, as you say, we can curate the content and we can get it up on the built-in support almost immediately, and then customers will be aware of the use the built-in support. They can log on, they can see, oh look, there's a known issue, and they can see the content that we have provided for that, and then it should hopefully eliminate maybe the need to actually open up an incident and maybe delay any more time down the road for them, and they have access to the information of how to fix the problem straight away. We also maybe plan to have, not just for known issues in this kind of area, but we also have KBAs as well, which have describe all the common issues and some of the troubleshooting steps that are available for that. So a second kind of example that we had then was, I'm also, as a product area lead, I'm also involved in the release decision meeting with development. So how our strategy for Cloud ALM works is on a Monday to Thursday, it's normally like daily fixes for issues that may have occurred, but every 2 weeks is the release decision meeting for new features and functionality. So we know more often than not, sometimes customers are not always aware of new features or functionality. So we feel that this is a perfect, again, example of where we can provide this information to make you aware of new content or new features that are available. So it will link you to the content, and you can see a full list of all the new features and content that would be available in any bi-weekly cycle. The last feature that we had is to do with configuration. So we know a lot of issues that we see incoming are always to do with like configuration or need maybe some clarification. So what we have here is all of these topics are all tailored. So in the previous example, sorry, just to miss that. In the previous example, it was showing health monitoring. So in operations, we have multiple use cases. So we have health monitoring, real user monitoring, synthetic user monitoring, and in each of these individual use cases, it is tailored specifically for that use case. So the content that will be displayed will always be just specific to that use case. So for the common issues and troubleshooting, if it was in health monitoring, the only document and only issues you would see will all be related to health monitoring. And similarly with this configuration here, the link that we have here, we do have a lot of video KBAs, which are again specific for each maybe product that you're configuring or setting up, or even you know, just configuring and seeing it. So in here again, we will have a link out to individual playlists, which will just be the content relevant for the specific topic or the product that you're going to be using. We feel that this live recommendations, personally feel this is going to be great for us because we're constantly reviewing the content and the issues that we see. We feel that this is a perfect place to provide this extra level of support and to give you every benefit of, you know, getting issues resolved before opening incidents. So I think that's probably it from my side, Willem.
Yeah, that's a great example. Thanks a lot, because it illustrates very well how it will be that when the support teams reach out to customers directly via bi-directional support and what we can achieve with that. So it's very good points and also very good examples. And that's just for, as you said, or just for the Cloud ALM health monitoring. So yeah. As said before, every team has then the freedom to decide what is most critical at this day or this hour to share with you as customers. And now what we put together is is a demo. Yeah, the demo is not yet like live. We cannot offer that because it's still in development. But we put a few, took a few mock-ups, yeah, from the mock-ups we had, and want to share with you. It will illustrate how the entire flow will look like, including what Ian just said, how that could be. We selected an S4 system because an S4 HANA Cloud version, the live recommendations will be available first. And so let's have a quick look. What we see here is, one screen of S4HANA Cloud. In this case, it's about purchase orders. And now we assume I'm a user, and I might encounter a problem. Not just help. I maybe know how this all works, but I see something is not really working with authorizations that worked before. So as Ian pointed out, that could be a good trigger to check that. Hey, this is not working anymore, like you showed Ian in this first slide. And that means I would use this build and support icon here on top and have a quick look. And like, this is a really brand new behavior. I would like to underline that. This is not like I just want to report something, but first of all, I want to see if the support team behind this application maybe has some information for me. And what I might discover then, and we see that under recommended links, there is something tagged hot, so might be interesting. And it is about authorization issues, so might be good. And then I check the date, and I might be happy with what I see because it's pretty accurate, pretty new. And so then I would say, let's have a look. And I look at this one and check, yeah, if this is the right thing for me. I can go through it. You know that it works in Build and Support today. You can directly click content without leaving the application. And it might be that that I say it's not good enough, and so I use the search also built in. I told you that the search experience will be improved. However, the search capability itself will of course stay there, so I can search content relevant for S4. So now I'm doing that, and I'm looking for content. Of course, we have the newest content there. And I might find something, yeah, but maybe I do not find anything for my problem. So if this does not provide me with what I'm looking for, maybe I discovered something new, could be, yeah, then I have the possibility, and you see this down there, to report that. Yeah. Is it now necessary to create a ticket? Not necessarily. If we go ahead with reporting the issue, we will ask for a few details, so I can add a description to what I just encountered. As normal, I can rely on that there will be recommendations based on the description. And as said before, this is always up to date. So meaning if there is something out there, I should be able to find it that way to ensure that I have the latest information. But if there's nothing, then I can still say I want to create a ticket for that. Or, as I just see, an alternative channel is offered. In that case, the system automatically checks if there's engineers staffed for the chat queues at this point in time, yeah, like at this point in time of the day, and then I might be able to start an expert chat session. And that is the normal procedure, the same as in the OneSupport Launchpad or SAP for me. So it's the same kind of teams behind that, same kind of queues. So I can simply chat with an engineer about that. And it might be have a good dialogue, in this case with Jerry about that, and he will tell me, yeah, we'll have a look at that. And he might tell me, yeah, there might be something we need to file, a new issue. Maybe it's not known so far, so a ticket will be created. From my perspective as a user of that product, it's fine because I documented, filed, and reported everything. SAP took over. So I can see that case, of course. Also in Build and Support, I don't have to move out, so I can find it in the list of my tickets. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Exists today. It's of course very convenient and is again fully in sync with what I do in SAP for me or OneSupport Launchpad, because it's based on the same user account. So just as a side information, to do so, of course, it requires an S user. We know the drill, but that is fully included. So when I logged in to Build and Support of my universal ID, my S user can be automatically taken in. I see the tickets I would see in OneSupport Launchpad or SAP for me too. So this is all in sync. So my ticket is stored and the process is done. And now coming back, yeah, to the experience that I might have, or another customer in regards to these live recommendations. It might now be that my topic I just reported is converted into a KBA. There's a solution available, and now a team like Ian's team decides to say, guys, this is so relevant, what was reported, that we need to publish it. And it might be that in one of the next days, I, and with me, also all the hundreds or thousands of customers using that page would see that recommendation here on top with a brand new KBA based on my issue that I reported for everyone. And that illustrates how billing support will work with live recommendations, meaning that there will be a very short time. And I think Ian pointed it out quite well. There is this community calls with a cadence of 1 month, but that will not be in the future. In the future, support teams can decide if something is critical, they can publish it right away and thereby let everyone know out there who is using that application, so very targeted about these new solutions for problems. So we find it here in this demo. It looks nice. It will be in the future. So now we have today when I reported that, if I open that at the 11th or 12th or whatever of February, it might be that my reported problem from today will already be put into a KBA in the future. Right, so that's the idea behind live recommendations. As said, we will start in S4. As also said, we aim at the first half of this year, so where we'll experience, and then we will want to roll it out to all the products where build-in support is available, and then it will become a standard feature of build-in support for our customers. Well, with that, we are at the end of the presentation.